So guys, welcome back. In this video we are going to write a simple fuzzer using the Python programming language. So let's get started. Now I am using this binary called OSCP. It's from TryHackMe website and it uses the ADLL file. I will put these two files links in the description. Make sure you can download this. Now I am also using Immunity Debugger to debug this program. Now let's open this binary in Immunity Debugger. Now we run the program. So basically what I will explain again fuzzing. Generally we connect to the server or application and we generate a random or unintentional data, and then we send the data to the application and we see its behavior using the debugger. With the debugger you can see the application's data or memory. So my application is running in this and listening on the port 1337. To contact you also need an IP address, right? Now what I'm doing is I'm going to find the IP address of this machine. Type ifconfig is for Linux. Now if you type ifconfig you can see the network adapter details. Now the IP address is 192.168.189.128. Now let's copy this. Okay, I think this is the correct IP address, and also port number is 1337. To interact with any application we use socket library. Say import socket, and we also give some delay between the sending of data, I mean requests or packets. Now import time. Now to connect to a application we need to create a socket. For that I am going to create a socket. S is equals to socket of socket dot AFINET. This socket function takes two parameters, AFINET, which means I want to send this packet with an IP address of version 4, and also sockstream, which means that TCP. I want to send this as a TCP. It performs three-way handshake and then it will send as a TCP one. So I am going to connect now. Connect takes a tuple as an argument, and inside one we need to give IP address and the port number. Comma 1337. Now we have connected to that application through our Python program. Now what I'm going to do is say banner. First thing, and server sends a banner to us when we connected, right? Let's receive that banner and see what it is. And we need to decode this message, or you will see the /n/t or in that. Now let's print the banner, and now let's close the socket. Now let's see if this works. Okay, now output is welcome to OSCP vulnerable server, enter help for help. Okay, let's see by sending a socket with help. After receiving the banner we can say message is equals to help. Now again we need to receive a message and print the message. Now let's run the program. As you can see, the program is telling us these are the valid commands that the program accepts: help, overflow 1 and the value, overflow 2 and the value, overflow 3 and value, and so on up to overflow 10 and the value, and finally the exit command. Okay, generally this is the normal way to the application interacts with you. You can also use netcat to just know what commands the application accepts. Okay, now I'm going to remove these lines. First, we will send one packet with our fuzzing data, and then we iterate over that to send multiple times. Okay, now since we have received the banner, what we are going to do is we gonna say junk is equals to into 50. Now I want to say interesting one is you need to encode these values if you are using Python 3. In Python 3 you need to send it as only bytes. You cannot send the socket data as a strings or something. Raw Unicode escape does is it does not allow Unicode and it will send as bytes. Now s dot send off payload. Now let's print out this payload with bytes. Okay, payload sent with this number of bytes dot format of. Now what we going to do is we put a count and upper. Let's say count is equal 50. Okay, now I'm sending 50 number of A's to the application. Okay, it says payload sent with 50 bytes. Now let's open this, and you can see there are a lot of connections opening and closing, but our application did not crash. Now let's repeat the same process with a while loop. Say while true. Now I am going to repeat this entire process until I get an error like socket did not connect or connection error refuse. It means that when application crashed, when you are going to connect, when the application is crashed, you get the connection error, right? Now I am going to say try sending the data, and whenever any exception arises, you break the program simply. Now let's say print application crashed at bytes dot format of count. Now another thing we need to do is we need to increase the count size. Alright, I think this is our fuzzing simple Python fuzzer has been completed. I think so. Now let's review all the code. We are creating the socket and we are connecting to the application, and then we receiving something banner which we don't care, and we are creating the some junk bytes using the count. First count is 50. It means first we are sending 50 A's, and then we are increasing to 100, increasing 100 by 100, and then again A into 150. Again we send 150 bytes of A, and then if application did not crash, again we loop over this try block and we send again 250 bytes. If the application has crashed, then we get this exception and this print statement will execute and the loop will break and socket will close. So okay, I think this is correct one. Let's see if any errors we get. Let's send this. Okay, I'm sorry, I did not put this overflow one. Okay, I'm such a dumb. So the application only accepts if there is overflow one space and the junk, and we also put time dot sleep of say 0.3 milliseconds. Okay, now let's run the program. So okay guys, now our application has been crashed, and you can see at 2150 bytes our Python program cannot send any error anymore because there is no response from it. There is no actual connection to it. You can see the application has crashed here. You can see all of our A's here. You can also see EIP, which is instruction pointer, and also EAX and ESP has been overflown with A's. Now if I close the program, now let me run the program again normally. Now I will connect to it using normal Python script, and I will send only the junk 2150 directory. Or else I can just modify here. Let's say count is equals to 2, while count less than 3. Now I am going to send directory because we know the number of bytes, which is 2150, and you can send this count is equal to count plus 1. Sorry, I did not run the program. There you go. You can directly see we sent our buffer with 2150 A's and it directly overflowed. In this way, we can fuzz the application for any vulnerabilities or crashes, and then we can examine the application memory to see our data is there. Remember one thing, not every crash leads to a vulnerability, but sometimes a crash can lead to vulnerability, but not all the times. Okay, that's all for this video guys. I hope you have enjoyed this. See you in the